Just hit dingers, just hit dingers, just hit dingers, dingers, dingers. Welcome back to the Green Beans Go channel. It's your host, me. It's Tuesday. It's a great day. We're here and we're coming off of a fantastic week last week. I think our best week since we started tracking on May 2nd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this will be our 8th week, and last week was our best. So let's go ahead and look at last week. Let's talk some housekeeping things, and then we'll get into the picks for today. So last week we hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks, all within the 500 plus 500 range, and a lot of them were on highly rated or scored games. So that is what we like to see. That makes me feel like we're doing the right stuff here. So last week was fantastic. If we look at the tracking, if we dive into what we're at, okay, if you've played only the A team, you're up $300 if you are converting your free bets at 75%, which is very possible on FanDuel. If you only have tailed the B team, you're up almost $900, which I wish I could tell you guys what I'm doing, but if we look at last week, all 6 picks were from the B team. I don't know. Hands up, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So overall, our ROI is 23%, which is great for this promotion. And if we look at our breakdown, I am rating the A games correctly, as we are getting $11 back in free bets per game from there, whereas we have 6 to 5 for the other ones. So that makes me feel like we're on the right track there. So if we look at this week, little zoom back out here, sorry. And before we get started, just a simple blue cup today. We have the Green Mountain medium roast, no cream, no sugar, trying to cut back. I have gained 60 pounds since I got married in 5 years ago, and I stepped on the scale the other day and I thought, it's time to shed a little. So that's what we're attempting to do. So we're cutting out the cream, we're cutting out the sugar, making small changes. Hopefully it pays off. So if we look at today, not as good as last week in terms of conditions, but Ballpark Pal is still predicting 36 home runs. So last week he predicted 34, and we got 41. This week he's predicting 36. And, if we look at his projections since I've started tracking, he's pretty close. Here's a graph of his tracking. The blue is his predictions. The red is the actual. So again, this has been pretty reliable. So let's hope, again, if we can get 35, if we can get above 30, it's a good Tuesday. So we'll trust that metric. Overall, the pitching is a little better than it's been. We see a lot of red numbers here. So guys aren't giving up a ton of home runs, some yellow, but there are some green today, even on guys with decent sample sizes, right? Kikuchi, 71 innings, still is green. Medina, 39, still is green. So some games that I would say are targetable, are playable with the limited version would be the Rangers game, would be Washington, would definitely be the Reds game, my best game of the night, Chicago, and LA. Probably LA is the problem is a lot of these parks with good conditions are pitching the aces, right? We got Dylan Cease and Evaldi, two of the best pitchers for their teams. Kershaw, Detmers, two of the best pitchers for their teams. Suarez and Strider, two of the best pitchers for their teams. Montgomery and Gore, okay, now we can have some wiggle room. So let's go ahead and get into the actual picks for today. We'll start here in Detroit. A game I liked in terms of pitching, but Ballpark Pal is not loving the conditions. I'm going to go with 2 Detroit guys against Dylan Lynch, who, small sample size, but still seems to be the worst pitcher here. Eric Haas and Javier Baez, both in about that 450 range, both guys who should be top of the order for the Tigers tonight. Moving to the next game, Spencer Strider and Ranger Suarez. Suarez, again, small sample size, so I don't really buy this 2 home run business, this red number, especially when you got going against a team like Atlanta who can hit the ball. I don't want to pick any Philly guys against Strider. I know he's given up a 12, but I think he is the better pitcher. So we're going to go with 2 guys for Atlanta. Austin Riley, pretty surprised to see him at 480. I think that's a good number there for him. and Travis d'Arnaud at 680. Been injured this year, has come back, has not hit very many home runs, but it's a guy I liked last year and a guy I'm going to hope can get one for us tonight. So, again, if you can lock in Austin Riley at 480, I think there's tremendous value on that number. Kind of surprised to see it above 350, really. This game is kind of confusing to me because Ballpark Pal is rated at -11. I don't know if that's just because of the pitching, because it's an indoor stadium. So obviously I'm gonna pick two Miami guys because Kikuchi has been giving up the long ball. Garrett Cooper and Brian De La Cruz, both around the 500 range. I think you have to stay away from Toronto hitters with Perez. And if you have the limited version, probably not a game you play. But two guys for Miami here that I think are decent picks. Soler obviously is going to be a popular pick. He was about 320 when I looked. Don't mind the play, but I like to get a little more value, squeeze a little more out of it on a Dinger Tuesday. Next game, we got Baltimore visiting Tampa Bay. Again, two of the better pitchers for each team, although Tampa Bay's pitching is phenomenal no matter how you slice it. So Glasnow may not be the best, but he would be the ace on most other teams. Wander Franco at 9-1. Let's throw a dart, right? Let's try it out. Again, pretty high number for the switch hitter there. And Henderson for Baltimore. I wanted to pick two Tampa Bay guys going up against Bradish and not against Glasnow. But, Gunnar Henderson has been hot as of late. 480, it's not a bad number. It's going to be an indoor park. So, hey, let's let it ride. This game, Ballpark Pal is scoring it high, almost 3 home runs predicted. The pitchers scare me, obviously. They're giving up, a home run every 10 innings, which, is not something I'm trying to target on a Dinger Tuesday. George Kirby and Garrett Cole, I think back here, somewhere around here we had Garrett Cole. Okay, he had only given up 4. If we go back maybe even a week or two before, he had pitched quite a bit of game. Maybe it was the first week, yeah. So Garrett Cole made it 40 innings without giving up a home run. So if we look at his form as of late, in the last 50 innings, he's given up 9. So, that's a little more promising. So I am going to target one guy for Seattle, Jared Kelenic at 600. He has a home run off of Cole in his career. So that's my B team pick. Jake Bauers at 470 I think is good. Because I picked these, Rizzo's probably going to hit one. He was probably my C team, my third pick, my almost got in guy. But his number I didn't love. It was like 3. Let's just go ahead and look here. 3. Oh. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stick to this. But I don't mind Rizzo at 430. When I looked earlier, he was not that high. Oh, man. Okay. You know what? Moving on. Don't even think about it. This is a game I will play. The game in Washington. Pretty hitter-friendly park. Contreras for the Cardinals at 430. Lane Thomas at 680, who has hit quite a few this year. I think is a really good number for him. I don't mind Goldschmidt. I don't mind DeJong. I think there are guys from both teams who could hit home runs tonight. And so even if these two do not, I do think the value is there in terms of getting 4 to 5 home runs to at least get your money back in free bets. So these are my official picks. But again, I think there's a lot of guys in this game who look pretty good. This is very interesting to me. I knew Stroman had a good starting position this year. First 4 or 5 games looked great, but I didn't know that he's only given up 5 home runs and 91 innings pitched. So as many innings as Garrett Cole, and given up almost half of the amount of home runs as Garrett Cole. So really pretty good for a guy who's not looked in the best form lately. Not a game I'll get to because of what Ballpark Pal's projecting for home run totals and for the pitching, but Mike Troutman at 8-1 I think is fantastic. Guy who's leading off, guy who hit one Sunday, I believe. And Ian Happ at plus 630, I think is another good spot. Again, these numbers tempt me to play it, but the game does not tempt me in the slightest, so I will stay away. If I had to play, these would be what I would play. Medina and Savali, again, it's pretty obvious who I'm going to target for this game. If I played it, probably won't play it. Josh Naylor and Jose Ramirez, probably pretty chalky plays. I looked at Stephen Kwan at 9-1, but I decided to pull it back a little bit. He's only had 2 this year, and I think part of my issue in these weeks here was I was reaching a little bit too far, trying to hit something mega. We hit Kiermaier here at 9-1, Anderson at 750, Farmar at 750, and so I think I got a little too big for my britches, and I started reaching too far. So Kwan was a tempting play for me, but not one I'm going to play. Trying to be a little smarter here. Josh Naylor at 520 I still think is great value, and even Ramirez at 420 I think is great value. Flipping over to, I don't know why it does this. Really, I truly don't. Okay, flipping over to the latter half of the slate. This game is my best game of the night. It is the game I think has the most home runs, and it is a game that has tremendous value because Elly De La Cruz at 630. Rookie phenom coming in, I believe has only hit 1 or 2 since he's been in the majors, but he's only been in the majors for 2 to 3 weeks. His splits batting left-handed are much better than his splits batting right-handed. Okay, so he's going up against a righty in Noah Davis. Okay, so I wonder if we can find his splits. He's only had 1 home run this year. Batting order, that's versus pitchers, I guess. The moral I'm trying to show here is that a lot of these games he bats right. A lot of his recent games he's batted right-handed. He's faced lefty pitchers, especially last night, same thing. So to get this number when he's facing a righty, when he should be batting left, which is his preferred stance, is what you want. What I'm trying to say, in a very long-winded way, is De La Cruz at 630 is a fantastic play tonight. Ryan McMahon at 420, mixing it up, going with the opposite side here. Should be near the top of the order for the Rockies. Again, I don't think you can go wrong in this game. I think 5 is a very reasonable total for home runs. So this would be my number 1 game of the evening. And I know when I say that, it doesn't end up well, but I'm saying it again. Let's turn the tide. This game, not the greatest, but I am going to target a guy from each team. Joey Gallo at 340 again, pretty chalky. And Alex Verdugo, though, at 750, I think is another great value. No Walmart, right? Great value play. But there are a lot of guys. Devers is not a bad look. Yoshida was somebody I targeted in the past. But Verdugo at 750 is my official play. This is probably the best, in terms of pitching names on the slate. This is the best, but it is indoors. It is against teams who like to hit home runs. Probably not a game I get to, but a game that has value. Kyle Tucker at 420 and Mark Canha at 680. 1 from each team. Those would be my plays for these games. Nathan Eovaldi and Dylan Cease, a game I'm going to play because of the conditions, not a game I want to play because of the pitching. I'm going to hope that we can have kind of an off night for these guys. It makes me a little nervous because of how good they typically are. But Nathaniel Lowe at 630 and Gavin Sheets at 540. 1 from each team. So we'll roll with it. Hopefully we can squeeze out 3 to 4 home runs and get our value out of it. But the pitchers, I will say, do make me nervous. So we'll talk about at the end kind of what I'm thinking for these. Nelson versus Colin Rea. We're going to go with 2 Arizona guys. Arizona has looked pretty darn good this year, and they've hit quite a few home runs. Corbin Carroll is obviously not a bad pick, but his number was pretty low. So Pavin Smith and Ketel Marte, both a little above 500, I think is the play of the nights for these games. Just out of curiosity, what was Corbin Carroll? Because, pulling a result, okay, 350, again, not fantastic, but I like these 540, 560s a little bit better. San Francisco, I can't ever get to a game in San Francisco. It is just the worst park to hit at. and we have good pitching. So just for the sake of record keeping, Grisham and Cronenworth, two lefties for the Padres, going to see the most at bats. You know what? I'm not even going to talk about it. Not a game I would play. F rating. Last game of the night is actually probably one I do end up playing just because of the hitters in this game. For the official plays, I'm going with Will Smith and JD Martinez. Again, two pretty chalky plays. But over on LA Angels side, Renfroe and Drury, I think have a great setup against Kershaw tonight. I do think this could be an off game for Kershaw. But, that being said, I am going to target two Dodgers. They've been kind of in a slump, the Dodgers have. And I think, a game in LA, not at home, I do think sets up pretty nicely for them. So if we look at their matchup tonight, Betts is not a horrible play. Will Smith, Martinez, I don't mind Vargas. I don't mind Taylor. Over here, Trout, Drury, Renfroe. So this is probably one I do get to with the limited version just because I do see a way that 3 or 4 home runs are hit. So if we zoom out, we get a full scope of everything this evening. I think what I'm definitely going to do with the limited version is play the Reds game. That is definitely a game I will get to right here. I will definitely get to the LA battle right here. And then definitely get to this game, Washington game right here. And I'll probably play one more. I may split. Time, think about here, think about here. I may even reach to a C level. C level. What are we talking here? Maybe a Yankees, maybe a Tampa Bay. But definitely Cincinnati, definitely LA, definitely Washington. Okay, those are my official endorsed limited version plays. Again, if you have the unlimited version, let it fly, man. Play them all because we've seen the value returned. Okay, we have seen the value returned. So, as always, I appreciate you guys stopping by. If you guys can subscribe, like, and comment, share, that helps me a ton. So, wish you the best of luck on this Tuesday, and we will see you next Tuesday. Ooh, we will. Will we? I'm going out of town. So next Tuesday, we'll figure out something. I'm going to try to stay consistent. It may look a little different, but keep a lookout. I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do for next Tuesday. I'm not even in a legal betting state, so I won't even be able to partake. So we'll talk next Tuesday. We'll figure it out. We'll do something. So good luck tonight, and we will see you hopefully, probably next Tuesday.